Hello you and welcome back to Scandinavian Design 101. I'm Sanna.
I'm Andreas and we are two Swedes and we love design.
We do, and we're often talking about exclusive, expensive design by famous architects like Finn Juhl, Josef, Alvar, Aalto and so on. So, to compensate for all of our videos about costly dream furniture sold for thousands of dollars, we've decided to do a video about objects sold at auction in Sweden for less than $100 US.
Yeah, that's cheap.
It is. You definitely don't need to be a millionaire to furnish your home with great design. It can be found for close to nothing at auction and in thrift stores. And all of the objects in this video was recently sold at the auction site Auctionet.
Yeah, and these exact pieces are obviously no longer for sale. But we hope they can inspire you to look for inexpensive, no-name design on auction.
And in thrift stores.
Yeah, and sometimes even designed by famous designers, but still cheap.
Yeah.
The supply is enormous, and with some time and a stroke of luck, you will be able to make some great deals.
Surely.
Yeah. And first out, we have chosen this vintage Wicker chair. And it was sold for $27. And I would say this is like a cheap alternative to famous wicker chairs by, for example, Viggo Boesen and Josef.
Yeah, I agree.
I have no idea how old this is.
No.
And the cushion looks horrible.
Yeah, the cushion's not good.
No.
But you need it.
Yeah, you need it because you can't sit in it otherwise.
But you need to address it in something else.
Yeah, I mean, I really like the shape of it, and it's $27. It's nothing for a chair.
No, it's really good. Actually.
So this is one example of a cheap chair.
Yeah, it really is. Next one is this Hans Agne Jacobsson dome pendant lamp, sold for $36. And people often believe that all lamps by Hans Agne Jacobsson is expensive, but that's not the case, as you can see with this one.
Yeah, this is a cheap example, and
yeah, it looks a bit like the beehive.
Yeah, by Alvar Aalto there. Yeah, and these dome lamps, they are sometimes extremely expensive, but sometimes they cost like this. Yeah. So if you are looking for one and you're not in a hurry, you should just wait and see, because you will find one for this kind of money.
When you want something.
Yeah, sadly. And the brass ones are obviously a bit better looking than the white ones, and they are more expensive.
But you could just paint it yourself. Spray painted.
Yeah,
if it's that cheap.
Yeah, and I was thinking of like buying one of these and then spraying it in, like you make it like
ombre,
purple, but then you start with dark gradient purple. That would be
pretty.
Yeah.
Not much more money to do that.
No, so I mean, that's a good idea. Perhaps we should do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then next out. It's the side table number 99, launched in 1960 by Albert Larsson's Möbelfabrik. And it was sold for $63. And the price range is huge when it comes to these tables. And it's sometimes sold for several hundreds, but it can also be found for like this, like $60. And it's often said that it was designed by Albert Larsson, but that's obviously wrong. There is no known designer behind it. Albert Larsson is a manufacturer. Yeah. But the nice thing is, of course, the ball-shaped feet.
Yeah, of course. It is cute, though.
Yeah, it is.
But it's very small.
Yeah, it's very small, and I would consider paying like $50-$60 for it, but I would never pay more. $300, $400, $500. But if you look around,
maybe it was a full size.
Yeah, if it was a dining,
this is super small.
It would be nice as a dining table, wouldn't it? Yeah, a large one.
Well, it's not. It's super small.
Yeah, it's like
you can barely fit like 2 cups on it.
No, and it falls tips over really easy.
Possibly,
yeah.
Well, 63, that's okay. It's not super cheap though.
No, it's not, but it's cheap to be this table. Yeah.
Moving on to these Bruno Mars chairs called Mia. They were sold for $90 US dollars for the pair.
Yeah.
And Mattsson designed, as you know, a huge lot of different chairs.
Yeah.
But if you buy the lesser known models, they're often relatively cheap and often relatively ugly.
Yeah, most of them are extremely ugly.
Yeah.
But this one it's okay.
I like this. I think it's comfortable.
Yeah.
And it has something, I think.
Yeah, it's obviously better looking in leather upholstery. I've seen them in some old, like this cognac leather, and then they look quite expensive and rare. But this is perhaps a bit too much like a government building, and then you have them in there. Perhaps.
Not if you have them in a home, like around a table. I don't think so. But
no, this is at least one of his better, lesser-known chairs.
I agree.
Yeah. And then next out is the pendant lamp Arjeplog. It's a town in northern Sweden.
Very much.
It was sold by Ikea in the 1960s. And it was sold for $54. And this is a great example of an extraordinary looking lamp sold for way less than most iconic lamps of the time.
Of course, it's Ikea.
It's Ikea, but I think this is one of Ikea's best pendant lamps from the 60s.
I don't have anything against it.
No, I kind of like this one. It's inspired by like Italian lamps, and
probably.
so Bergbooms has a very similar model too. But yeah, that's a kind of a bargain, I think, $54.
You could get a more good-looking lamp for $54.
Yeah, perhaps, but it's at least it's. I think it's quite nice.
We'll move on.
Yeah.
Swivel chair Rondo, produced by SM Vinkrantz.
Yeah.
I don't know that manufacturer.
Yeah, they produced a lot of this organic sofas and the space age sofas.
Oh, I like that. It was sold for $63. And the most famous version of the Rondo chair was redesigned, made by Folke Jansson. But this is the original narrower
model. Yeah.
But it has something, of course it does. It's space agey, but also simple. And I like the black and white.
Yeah, the black and white was really nice. This is often seen in like brown plastic upholstery, and that's not that good looking. But here it almost looks like something by Saarinen or something.
And it swivels.
Yeah,
it's fun.
Yeah,
it's fun to swivel.
And it's small, so that's a good thing too if you want it in a hallway or something. And then we found this Rosewood magazine rack by Axel Kjærsgaard. And it was sold for $100. So it's in the upper range here.
Yeah, it is.
But and to be honest, I don't really think this is by Kjærsgaard. At least it's not certain. I've never seen any proof of it at all. But I like the shape of it.
Yeah, it's beautiful, but I do have a problem with it.
Okay.
It's that you don't need it.
That's the problem.
You don't need this at all.
No, I mean, yeah, you're right, because magazine racks, they are used to store magazines.
Yeah.
And you don't want to store magazines in a rack.
I don't have magazines, but if I would buy one, I would read it and then
throw it away. And I have a lot of like old design magazines, but this isn't big enough to
No, but
store
you could
them.
have that in there. Yeah, that's true.
Or perhaps a book or something. But to be honest, it's more like it was something people had in the rooms in the 60s and 70s, I think. But it's still a nice design piece.
Yeah,
I can picture this being sold for like $600 or $1,000 by a dealer somewhere. Yeah, I think so.
No one else needs it either.
No, but people don't understand that. Everyone think they need a magazine rack.
I don't think so. Let's move on to the Ori. What is Ori?
I don't know.
It is a tea trolley in teak and steel produced by JH Fabrikerna, sold for $45.
Yeah.
And it is what it is. It is a small and useful little trolley.
Yeah.
With loose teak trays.
Yeah, and the teak trays are quite nice too. They are large, and this molded plywood teak trays. So I think this is a nice.
It's cute. I could see myself storing alcohol on
Yeah, it's a bar, a small bar trolley.
It would be very fun too.
You have your bottles on the
Yes.
bottom
Yes.
tray, and then you
And
have
the
some
glasses,
glass.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yep.
Yeah. And next out, this is a funny piece. It's a roulette dressing mirror produced by Fröseke, and it was sold for $27. And this is actually a great example of a funky 1970s and interior design, still affordable on auction. And it's made by a paper cylinder. So it's like paper furniture, but the mirror is, I think, plastic. But yeah.
Doesn't it fall over if it's just paper?
I'm not sure, but it's they are quite heavy still.
How?
Because it's
like some kind of bottom on it.
Yeah, perhaps. And then it's this kind of hard and pressed paper used for like in buildings and so on normally. So
I love this though.
Yeah,
but it does look like a toilet roll a bit.
yeah, that's and there's also for example a stool for this, and it's also made from the same roll of paper with a seat on it. But it's really
it
nice.
Has something, and it's
fun,
fun,
and it's gold. I think
it is gold, and black.
Yeah, it's nice,
super nice. Moving on to this mid-century wall lamp with 7 candle holders, I was about to say lamp holders.
Yeah.
It was sold for only $27.
Yeah.
And these kind of lamps are often wrongfully attributed to famous companies and sold for larger sums of money than this.
Yeah.
But they can also...
Okay.
Okay. But they can also be found this cheap if you're lucky.
Yeah.
And of course it's super pretty.
It is. I think it's funny because it's like a mix of some neoclassical shape, and then we have these modernistic cones in the top.
I do think they could be more beautiful, actually.
Perhaps, but it's yeah.
I love the arms though.
Yeah, and with the right light bulbs, you need some beautiful light. Yeah. I know it's and this sharp.
No, but it is super pretty.
Yeah.
Of course it is. I wouldn't mind it.
No, and it was extremely cheap actually, 27.
Extremely cheap.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was sold for at least $200 or something, but that's, yeah.
You do think stuff is worth a lot.
Yeah, perhaps.
Well.
And then unidentified teak dressing tables aren't really that popular, but here's one example. It has an integrated lamp, and it was sold for $54. And I mean, these kind of furniture are painfully out of fashion nowadays.
Yeah.
And they can be found for $50, but sometimes even less. And it's a bit strange because they can be used as small desks, and if you have
they're also a beauty vanity for your makeup and when you're doing your makeup, so they should be in fashion.
Yeah, they could be. There could be a revival soon because actually. They are. I mean, you don't need to they don't take a whole room to...
No, and with the integrated light, it's great for doing your makeup in.
Yeah.
And it's pretty.
Yeah, I think so. So, yeah.
Next is this Lystella serving trolley. You like trolleys, huh?
Yeah.
By Yngve Ekström for Swedese, sold for $70. And Yngve Ekström is famous for the Lamino chair, but during the 70s he designed more rustic, it's a fun word, rustic furniture, often made from pine wood. Yeah. Sweden's most common
the tree.
wood.
Yeah, and they are far from beautiful, these furniture.
Yeah.
But they are... At least his sofas made in the 70s are quite popular at
Why
auction.
didn't you choose a sofa?
Because they are extremely expensive instead. But this trolley is a great example of this pinewood 70s aesthetic found in all Swedish homes in the 70s.
Back then?
Back then, yeah.
But not so much anymore.
No.
And it's not as pretty as the other trolley.
No, not at all.
Looks like something you had in like school or something.
Yeah, and in the cellar at when you had this gillestuga and then you had this trolley down there.
Let's not talk about
gillestuga. No.
I think it's ugly. Move on.
Yeah, it's kind of I
but
agree.
it's a sign.
Yeah,
you chose it. Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and next out is the Petita sideboard sold by Ikea in the 60s. And it was sold for $100. And this piece was obviously inspired by like Börje Mogensen and other similar architects. But it's really nice with a magazine shelf and a drawer. And yeah, you don't need a magazine shelf. But I think this was used to have this telephone catalog on. And then you should have it like a telephone standing on it from the beginning. But you could have like something else lying there on the shelf. Yeah, okay.
It won't be magazines.
And it won't be a telephone catalog either. But yeah.
Well, I don't have much to say about this either.
Okay, yeah, just...
I don't know what I would do with it.
No, but you could have it in a lot of unnecessary furniture. They are made to like hallways and in the entrance.
That's where you had your telephone. Maybe.
Yeah, you had your telephone there, a Cobra telephone perhaps standing on it. Yeah,
but not now.
No.
Moving on. Lastly, this Danish coffee table with sled-shaped legs produced by Trio Möbler.
Yeah, never heard about them.
No. It was sold for only $44.
Yeah.
And either you love it or you hate it. But I think the hand-painted tiles are quite nice, actually.
Yeah.
Maybe the colors could have been more fun.
Yeah, some green or something instead of brown. Yeah.
But I don't hate it.
No.
It's cute.
Yeah, and it looks really designed. So if you have it, it's like a interesting piece.
It's nice in the
corners there.
Yeah. What's it called?
I don't know the English name for it. We say laxad in Sweden.
Salmon.
Yeah, that's stupid. But but this is also like Börje Mogensen inspired. But it's really nice.
He never had tiles on it.
Never tiles, but these kind of legs.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. But it's quite nice. But
it is.
That was the last piece we wanted to show you, and as promised, there were no design classics here, but still a lot of interesting pieces of furniture and lamps.
Interesting, you can say it.
And we would like to hear if you have done any really good finds at auctions.
Yeah.
It would be interesting to hear,
or
and if you want to,
stores.
and send us pictures on email. We want to see
your email.
Yeah,
funny. You should do that.
Yeah, do so. Then thanks a lot.
Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you.